I moved down here in May and just started coming here about 3 months ago or so. So, one thing that I'm gonna let you know about, I like to start off with a little story or whatever. About 38, 39 years ago, I applied for the Nebraska State Patrol. And one of the things that we had to do in class was to go up to the front, pick a state out of a basket, and we had to talk about it for 3 minutes, no matter what the state was. It's like, cool. I happened to get Minnesota, which my sister lived there, so I knew a little bit about it. But I was nervous. I pretty much hadn't spoke in front of a crowd before. So I looked straight ahead at the clock, and I got so nervous my glasses started fogging over. So if my glasses start to fog over, you're going to know I'm really, really nervous. But anyway, so I'm going to be the coordinator of the new movers. So that's what we're going to talk about this morning. This is going to be the new movers card. I'm going to hand them out, and it's just kind of like the other cards that we've had, just gives you some information on the front and the back. So you can kind of take a look at these. We're going to talk a little bit more about them. Right now we're going to have 3 short videos. In totality, it's like 8-9 minutes to kind of go over a little bit more, and then we're going to hit some high points about the videos. So Randy, you can go ahead.
Let's give it our best, let's take them back to the Bible.
Reaching the Lost Success Strategies is here to train the saved to teach the lost. In our congregational training, one of the contact tools we teach is called New Movers. Now, New Movers is provided by House to House, Heart to Heart. If you are receiving the publication, we will give you access to get the names in your local community that are moving into your area. Now, it's very inexpensive. It's $5 a month to receive the list and $1 per address for us to send the House to House, Heart to Heart New Movers magazine and the House to House, Heart to Heart postcard. Now, these tools that are being used are effective because when a person transitions and moves from one address to another address, from one town to another town, maybe from state to state, they don't have a home church. And so they're in a transitionary process, meaning that they are more susceptible to change churches. It's not the same culture as it once. If you were a particular denomination, you'll always be that particular denomination. Now most people are willing to look at any church in their neighborhood. Well, why not the Church of Christ? Well, if you don't go to them and make efforts to reach them, they're probably not coming. They're going to go into what's their most comfortable or what they've traditionally done, but they're receptive if you were to reach out to them. So New Movers is a very important tool. Now, we've added to it. The School of Evangelism has taken that resource and we've tried to make it even more actionable. What do? We would suggest that you put New Mover baskets together. When we were there, Nicole taught the ladies and she gave them a list of things that you could put in the basket. These baskets are placed together. Maybe a widow's group or a ladies group meets in the morning once or twice a month. They assemble 10, 20, 30, 40 baskets. They place them together. Now we're going to take that basket and we're going to go to the door. Now there are some do's and do nots. There's training. One of the reasons why the School of Evangelism is so important is because the key to success is training the members. We're not just going to send you to the door and say, good luck. Believe you me, if you go to the door and you don't have a strategy for communicating why you're there, you could do more harm than good. We want to make sure that you know the do's and don'ts of going to the door using the new movers basket. Let me just give you a couple. Number one, never use their name. If you go to the door and use their name and say, hello, my name's Rob, my wife Nicole. Are you Sue Smith? Are you Bill? Did y'all just move here? They're going to immediately ask, how did you get our name? Where did that information come from? And who are you? It breeds suspicion. It's going to cause questions to come up that you don't want to answer. And you may not even have the answer and distract you from your mission. So one of the key rules when you go to the door is you never use their name. In fact, you don't have to use their name. In all honesty, when you go up to the door, you should be able, being a member of that community, to say this. Hey, my name's Rob, my wife Nicole. We understand you just moved into the area. We just live down the road. We brought you a gift basket. And we'd like to share it with you and just say, hey, welcome to the community. My wife and I have lived here for however many years, and just start talking about your family and the experiences you've had, and just have a model communication with them. Begin to form a relationship with them. So you're not some random stranger. No, you're a member of that community. Someone they might see at the grocery store, walking up and down the sidewalk, or they may see at a gas station. So you begin to form common bonds. See, new movers, we want to warm up that contact as fast as we can. If you get a positive response, make sure you take that name, that contact, back to your local congregation and add them to your prospect list and begin sending the compassion cards. We have specific cards designed for new movers. Those cards now are being sent. We're welcoming them to the community. They've received the basket. They've got the postcard. They've got the house-to-house magazine. I mean, this is an all-hands-on-deck effort to reach out to them. Don't be surprised if some of these new movers actually visit your congregation. And are you ready for them? New Movers is a great tool. I want to highly encourage you to be a part of it. Use our training sheet. Spend some time training the members. Help them realize that when they go to the door, having a prolonged conversation, how to introduce your purpose behind it. Remember, is to make a contact, to feel out the contact a little bit. You're not there to ask for Bible studies. You're not there to baptize them. Just make contact with them. Bring that contact back and begin to prospect it further. Thanks for listening to Reaching the Lost Success Strategies. Looking forward to being with us next week.
We just went and watered.
Welcome to Tips for Evangelism. We want to make an addition to one of the best contact creators when it comes to cold contacts that we have in our curriculum. It is the new mover. House to house, heart to heart. When you enroll in our program, you will get access to the new movers list. When you're receiving that publication, that is that 8-page color magazine, we're also going to get addresses for you. And just for $2, that is $2 per new mover, we can give you their name and address. We can send out that 8-page color magazine to them and a postcard separately within 2 weeks, inviting them to your services. Now, let's add something to it. We add the new movers basket. We've talked about this throughout our curriculum. You need to go make that visit. What do you put in that basket? Now, we've talked about cleaning supplies, and we also have the spaghetti basket, but let's add something else. Recently, Daniel Burton from the Salina Church of Christ sent us a form they made, Community Service Contact List. These are individuals that are important to reach out to when you move in. County commissioners, and also services like ambulance service, or perhaps just local trash pickup, or internet providers, or utilities. So you fill it out. We have a template you can download, and you place it in your basket. Just another way of helping people become more comfortable. And don't forget to include the name and number of your congregation. Just another update, another tip, and may souls be saved. Tips for evangelism. Let's take a minute and look at new movers. When you get the new mover list, understand that it's gone through a filtering process. We've tried to weed out those who are not true new movers. Now, the list is about 70% accurate. In order for you to increase the accuracy, we've got a recommendation. Go to the website, go to Zillow. That's a website that deals with house sales. Those are public records. Put that address in Zillow and see if it's been recently sold. This is a way of further filtering out the list. Now, then when we do new movers, personally, I normally don't do that because I like to go with the flow. If I meet someone who's not truly a new mover, and they say, well, I've lived here for years, I'll say, well, I must have made a mistake. Welcome to the community anyway. Glad to meet you. And I still offer them the gift because it's a contact. So those are just a couple tips to help make new movers more accurate. It's a great contact tool. If your church is not doing new movers, you need to start today. Every week we have reports of churches making contacts because of new movers. People are coming to church because you went to them and offered them a gift.
So, some of the highlights of that is obviously creating the gift baskets. He has suggestions of 3 different types, and we'll go into them in more details. He suggested to organize the new movers into where members of the congregation live. You don't want somebody who lives clear east to go to a contact that's west, and north and south, stuff like that. So we'll do our best to organize contacts with new movers based on where members of the congregation that are on the new movers committee live. He suggests make sure use situational awareness, like look for bumper stickers on their cars when you're walking up. Look for out-of-state license plates at a house. Yard items, maybe they collect gnomes or wagon wheels or whatever. Even pets, great way to start a conversation is with pets. He strives that the teams that visit should be male and female. He also encourages to take kids and teens with you. They may or may not have kids, but it's a good way to show an example to those coming up. So the male and female, you never know who's going to open the door. It may be the single mom. It may be the mom where the husband is working. And 2 guys or a single guy could make her unnervous. Male and female teams. He, stated in there, don't use their names. We may or may not slip up when doing that. You're just going to have to go with the flow if you happen to mess up and mention their names. And that might be a little tough one, but hopefully we won't mess up. And you just say, hey, my name's Mitch and Lisa, He also stresses, do not overreach. You're not there to do a Bible class. You're not there to do a Bible study. You're not there to do anything else other than say, hey, welcome neighborhood, get the vibe off of them, and providing a prospect window for a return visit. That's all we're trying to do. So don't try to do too much. Okay, the empty baskets, the basket contents. One thing before I go into this is never do a visit empty-handed. He stresses gifts. That's where we got the new mover baskets. I don't know if there's anybody that doesn't love to get a gift, especially if there's nothing that is expected of them, which there isn't here. We're just making contacts. Just watch the tone, the words, all that kind of stuff. Again, try not to do too much. Appearance is important for the gift baskets. A nice gift bag is recommended for your items. It's not about the cost. That's something we got to determine. The gift is always valuable when it comes from the heart. Food is a great icebreaker, which we all know. I mean, whether you watch a Hallmark movie or whatever, you see the people move into a new neighborhood and somebody gives them a pie or cupcakes or whatever. Food is always a great one. I think that's why they put in the spaghetti meal. Always include information about the church. In the gift basket, we're going to have the contact list that I'm going to get to in a little bit. Maybe they insert the latest edition of the Heart to Heart. Again, never go alone. And smile. Going through a grocery store, whether it's Walmart or wherever, most of the time, I'm going to say a little over half the time, you smile at somebody and say hi, they're going to reciprocate. Not all the time, but you can't help that. When we're doing this, the most important thing to remember is that this is not a conversion, this is not a Bible study, this is just saying hi and introducing ourselves, showing that we care. If you try to do too much, you can inadvertently erase all the progress that you may have made. And then they may never come, they may not even answer the door if we try to return. Think about it this way, especially the guys. There might be a few women that have done this, but mainly it's going to be the guys. When you propose to your wife, you spent time, you spent money trying to win their heart. You gave her gifts, you spent time together, you listened to her, you learn more about one another. Before the Bible study takes place, you need to do the same thing with our contacts. We need to get to know them. We need to spend time with them. You give them gifts. We need to earn the right to have a Bible study. So the first basket suggestion is a spaghetti meal. They've got, your normal stuff, pasta server, napkins. But again, make sure you do the church information packet and the local business cards, which I'll get to at the contact list. They did have a suggestion up there about the gift cards for the gated and restricted communities that we could just send to them instead of delivering the basket. And we can include the heart to heart and all that kind of stuff in there, as well as the gift card. We can alter the, brand and stuff. I don't think that's a big issue there. The second one is the cleaning supplies. This isn't like none of these lists are, we have to do these things. These are just suggestions, what has worked. We can alter them. We can go, store brand instead of name brand if we want, whatever we want to do. They just have a bunch of different things, the dish pan, the trash bags, all that different things, because when you move in, you want to clean. Again, make sure you got the church information, make sure you got the business cards again, which we'll get to here in a little bit. The third option is just the household items. Plastic utensils, pot holders, sandwich bags, storage containers, aluminum foil. Again, these can be modified. It's not set in stone what we decide to give. Again, church information packet and a local business information. When we get together, which will probably be once, maybe twice in between Thanksgiving and Christmas, because I know a lot of people are going to be gone and traveling, we can decide should we have 3 different baskets, one for the spaghetti, one for option 1, one for option 2. He suggested having 30 or 40 of them made. I don't know if we want to start that big yet, if we have 4 or 5 of each one, something like that. And then, we'll go, who wants to go shopping and who wants to prepare. I can't remember how many are in the New Movers group. I apologize, I don't have that information. But, maybe all of us can get together to make the baskets and 2 or 3 will shop. Again, all that information is going to be organized and is coming. He mentioned that there's going to be exceptions to the list. He said might be businesses, might be a family moving in with another family. he suggested, oh, I must have the wrong house, welcome to the community ever, for a non-new mover, which maybe somebody has lived in Windsor for 25 years, but maybe they just moved, 8 blocks away or something. So just laugh and understand that you just made a contact, even though it was accidental. He mentioned they use 17 different filters, but there's going to be mistakes. We just have to deal with it when that happens. After the basket is delivered, you evaluate the visit. Was it cold, lukewarm, warm, hot, whatever scale we want to use. If you believe it was a good visit and you received a favorable response, then you add that name to the compassion card list, because then they're going to get compassion cards for new movers. So this is going to give you 4 different ways of contacts. 1, the first issue of House to House, the postcard from House to House, the new mover basket, and then cards from the church. Leave with a good impression. Even if it's a cold response, leave with the good impression. Impression. As we develop this work, we can make sure, if you have one couple that 3 out of 3 and the other one went 0 for 3. Well, what worked? What happened? So that we can learn from each other and see how to better ourselves and give a better experience for everybody, and more positive one, hopefully. So the community contact list, it's basically helpful phone numbers. I don't know how well you can see that, but at the top is where we put the church's information. Then you have, utilities you can put. If there's 1 or 2 different utility companies, you put the name, address, phone number. Local information, county sheriff's department, non-emergency numbers, obviously, the city police, call you before you dig, circuit court, mayor, whatever we want to put. We can use this template and fill out every number. We can maybe adjust it a little bit. School information, whether it's K through 8, the county, private, homeschool co-ops, insurance companies. Then it goes into contractors, put in 1 or 2 HVAC, 1 or 2 tree service, 1 or 2 plumbers. I imagine if we took a poll, there might be 6, 8 different plumbers that people use. Obviously, we don't want to put all 6 or 8, but 1 or 2 of each number. We put in there for them to make it easier. Hey, instead of Googling it or going to Facebook in, Windsor, and you get, 27 different people that, hey, this is the best, I had bad experience, we just use who we feel comfortable putting their names and numbers down. And this will be included in every basket that we give out. The new movers postcards. There's, it's just general, welcome to your new home. The church's information is on the right side. We put the, whenever class is. Top left corner is the address and stuff like that. So those will be mailed out to them. That's one of the contacts. He mentioned they're going to get this heart to heart. There's 8 pages. They just showed the first and 8th page. So I don't know. I didn't see all 8 pages. I don't know what it gets. Obviously, I trust Rob and his work and what he's going to be doing. But that's another contact that they're going to be sending out with the new contacts list. I've been going on and on. Does anybody have any questions?
I actually have a comment. I did this for quite a while in the Brighton area, and what I found is that you've got to have something with whatever you're going to be saying to the person when they answer the door, all written out and put it in the gift basket, because 9 times out of 10, they're either not there or they're not going to come to the door. And you're going to be basically just leaving the basket there at their doorstep.
Okay, that's something that Rob doesn't touch on, and we're going to have to touch on whether we leave the basket if they're not home, or do we wait and try it again to actually have a contact, because leaving the basket, they might, like a lot of people with the junk mail, take a 2-second look at it, if that, and then they throw it in the garbage and they just have the basket. So we'll have to see whether or not that's something we want to do or not as far as leaving the basket. My understanding of going through the new movers thing is that we don't leave the baskets if nobody's home, but that's an option that we can express or see about. Any other questions? Okay. So that's a very short thing of the new movers. We're going to, again, I'll get with everybody at least once, maybe twice between the holidays. And we can discuss, start getting into the details of, who wants to do the shopping, how many different baskets we want to alter the list. Whatever we get taken care of, we get taken care of. And then, we'll hit the road running again in January after the holidays are over. But does anybody have any questions again before I end? All right, I appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, one other thing that I forgot is that I do have a list, and there's about 11 to 13 names of people that have moved in just in the month of November. So we have a list to start once we get the baskets and everything organized. Thank you very much.